Inside PressBox is presented by Live Casino and Hotel. Always live, always on.
Looking for a great deal on clothing or hard-to-find collectibles? Goodwill has it all with low prices on thousands of items. Their inventory changes daily, so you never know what you're going to find. Visit givetogoodwill.org.
And Glen Burnie Transmissions provides factory remanufactured transmissions for hundreds less than the dealer. Suspect you have a transmission issue? Stop by for a complimentary road test and scan. You can easily get an estimate on your transmission repair by going to their website, gbt-online.com, or call 410-766-8500.
And welcome back to the show. Our next guest has done a lot of winning in the world of basketball, earning 5 high school national titles as the head coach of Riverdale Baptist and an NCAA title as an assistant at Maryland. Now in her second year as head coach of Towson University, her Tigers boast a winning record as well, and they're doing it the old-fashioned way, defense and rebounding. It's a pleasure to welcome in Diane Richardson. How are you?
Thank you. I'm great. Feeling good.
And defense and rebounding actually is a theme at Towson, because I know Pat Scarry does that as well.
Yes.
But, you know, Towson had been down for actually a few years before you got there. I'm always curious to find out, when a coach kind of turns it around, what was the philosophy that you came in with that you tried to impart on your players?
Well, you know, we knew that we had to make our players better. And so in that time, we were working on them getting better and giving them confidence. And I think it's starting to pay off right now. They're feeling pretty confident and knowing that they can win some games.
You know, I was looking at your schedule this year, and December, I think it was the 20th, you went down and you played West Virginia, where you had worked for a couple of years.
Right.
And they not only beat you, they took you to the woodshed.
They did.
I think it was 90-43.
It was pretty bad.
You came back 2 days later in the same state. You played Marshall, and I know Marshall may not be what West Virginia is. That's a character-building win, though, to 2 days later turn around and beat what I'm sure is a fairly decent Marshall team.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were even down 12 at half, and the young ladies fought back. And, you know, again, that confidence, like, we can do this. And they fought back, and we ended up winning.
Well, what's even more interesting, or just as interesting, is after the Marshall game, your first 2 games in the conference, you go to Delaware. Towson hadn't won in Delaware in 10 years, since 2008.
Correct.
You go to Drexel, hadn't beaten Drexel since 2010. 2 questions. Number one, were you even aware of that?
I was not.
Okay. And so your team, so you don't even talk about that kind of stuff with your team.
No.
You don't even impart any negative stuff at all.
No, not at all. We know that we have to go in each game and take each game by game. And just like with the West Virginia game, you know, we couldn't hang our heads. We had to go out and play another game, and we're getting used to that. And the same thing with Drexel not having won at all. And afterwards, somebody told me that, and I was like, oh, wow, okay. And then, you know, the same thing with Delaware. Right. So, you know, they're playing confident now.
You've got a player on your team, Kiana Jeter.
Correct.
Who is averaging over 20 points.
Yes.
And she's averaging over 6 rebounds a game. She's not your leading rebounder, but she's your second leading rebounder. And I looked over, I said, well, she must be like the center, or she's a 5'8" guard. How is she at 5'8" getting 6 rebounds a game?
She can really get up. I tell you, Stan, she will chase down rebounds. She'll out-jump some post players. She's really, really a good player for us.
She must have a big heart, too.
Yeah, she does. She does. She goes in there and plays hard.
You know, Coach, if I could go back a little bit, I think, you know, your on-court accomplishments, both as a player, an assistant coach, and a coach, are very, very noteworthy. But there was a long break between when you got your master's degree in 1984 until you started coaching basketball in 2001, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
It's about a 16 or 17-year period there. And you were in the business world.
Yes.
Why did you choose to go into the business world, number one, and then what drew you back to basketball in 2001?
Well, it was my goal to go into business, and you know, I went into business and had some success there, but I knew the basis for all of that was my time spent as a basketball player. And I knew that coming out of high school, I had a coach that took a notion and said, you know, you could get a scholarship to play, to go to college. And that opened doors for me, just going to college and understanding what life was all about. I knew that there were other young ladies just like me. And I told my husband, you know, I had a conversation with him and said, you know, honey, I really want to coach. I want to give that opportunity to some young ladies, and I'd like to coach. And he said, are you serious? Are you sure? And I said yes, and I went up, all those years later, went out, started coaching high school basketball, and just love it, absolutely love it. And I'm entrenched in it now.
Right.
You are entrenched in it. We got about 30 seconds for an answer. But you majored in psychology and sociology. I can't think of two better majors for somebody coaching basketball.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And it has helped me along the way. So, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy my time with the young ladies, and hopefully they enjoy their time with me as well.
You've scheduled up tougher. We got about 20 seconds now. You've scheduled up tougher this year to make your team better prepared for the March.
Conference. Correct. That and to be the best, you have to play the best. And I wanted to get them prepared for the up-tempo style that we were going to play. And I knew we had to play some tough teams, and we played a couple ACC teams, a Big 12, and it's paying off for us.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Great to have you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and
Good
hopefully
luck
we'll see you at the games. Thank you.
All right. After the break, Gary and I will break down how the Chargers, that's Gary and I, will break down how the Chargers outcoached and flat out beat the Ravens. Crosstalk is next. Inside PressBox will return after this.
And do you know a high school student athlete who impacts both their team and community? Nominate them for the U.S. Army Impact Player of the Month Award today. Visit PressBoxOnline.com/impact.
Inside PressBox is presented by Live Casino and Hotel. Always live, always on.